Hollywood and Las Vegas all week judging the Miss America contest. You know, I haven't been asked to judge anything, except when Rand Paul asked me if I liked his hairpiece. That was the last time. It's a big job, and I couldn't do it alone. There are 6 other judges, and I've blackmailed 2 of them into joining me here today. The creator and executive producer of Desperate Housewives, Marc Cherry, and the lovely and talented actress and author, Marilu Henner. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Welcome.
I feel very close to you.
Oh my gosh, it's like we've been sequestered, like a quarantined, like a jury or something.
Isn't it? I mean, I find it to be so much fun. I'm enjoying myself.
It's like camp. And you know, there's pressure on us, but not the kind of pressure where, you know, every day you're having to come up with some new things or whatever.
Well, we also are 7 people who are, even though it's a very different group of people, I think we kind of bonded right from the start.
We did. Everybody's very nice. There's nobody's there who's an idiot.
No, and nobody's like meeting in the bathroom going, can you believe
Yeah, that's true. That's very
no
good
clinkers
point.
in the bunch.
Because I'd be the first one doing it.
Oh yeah, I'd be right there with you in the ladies' room, throwing, writing
But
notes.
you know, we're not. People don't realize we're not allowed to talk about the individual contestants. But we can talk a little bit about the preliminaries last night.
Yeah.
We saw some clogging. We saw some interpretive toilet tharping.
Right.
We saw
singing, of course.
You know, I was
Piano.
wondering. I personally, the only talent I have would be stand-up comedy, and nobody wants to hear 2 Jews walk into a bar. No one wants to hear a joke.
They have had, they have had Miss Americas who've tried stand-up comedy.
And they have not won, I bet.
Well, and that's the thing. It's comedy, as you know. It's got to be a very specific. You got to know your audience, and you got people from all over the country coming to see these things.
And
so yeah,
it's hard to do it in 90 seconds. I mean, how do you do like great jokes in 90 seconds?
Yeah.
And it's sort of established a comedy persona.
Well, what would you do
So
if you had
quickly.
to do the talent?
Oh, I'm sure I'd do some big production number. I mean, I trained my whole life. Yeah, singing and dancing. I do something, from Chicago or something like
actually,
that.
have you had moments where you wondered, did I miss something here? I mean, did this bring you back to your childhood?
Oh, no, I was never pretty enough to be a Miss. Oh, no. This was never, like, in my wheelhouse. My oldest sister was the beauty queen of all Catholic high school girls. My second sister made the court. I didn't even make the cut in my school. No. I was never about my looks.
Well, you're pretty enough.
I'm pretty enough now, but I didn't become pretty until I was much older.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Did both of you want to be Miss America when you were kids?
Well, I can honestly say I didn't think about it that much. I had friends who did the pageants, and I was fascinated by what they went through, so I would accompany them. My good friend Linda Blaze was Miss Your Belinda, and so I was so excited for her and proud of her. And right from a very young age, I was kind of into the pageants and this weird kind of oddly American ritual that we would put our young ladies through, and I was always fascinated by it, and it wasn't until judging with you guys that I really started to
What's the hardest part about judging?
Well, because I'll tell you, they come to us, as you guys know, in the interview section. We interview these 53 girls. We ask them political questions, pop culture questions about their lives. And you start to fall in love with these girls. Not all of them are the best public speakers. Not all of them have that thing that makes you think they could go out and represent this organization. But I would say probably 99% of them I have kind of fallen in love with personally.
Yes.
I think they're good girls.
And you want to hear more. There were some girls yesterday, because we only get the 10 minutes, which I think a lot of people don't realize. We have 10 minutes with each one. We fire these questions. We see how they handle it in a sort of a pressure situation. And the personal stories that came out, so you didn't feel like they were just little pageant patties. They felt really connected to their hearts and their stories, and I found myself choked up a bunch of times.
I did too.
Like,
I felt bad for some of them. They had really tough times.
And adversity that they overcame, so that...
it was a moment of triumph for them to say, I'm here and I can talk about this and I've survived it.
They
respected them.
not only overcame it, they're thriving.
They're thriving,
it's fantastic.
and they're here in front of us. And the other thing is you could really see the girls who are connected to their brain cells, where they think something and it comes out of their mouths, rather than the people that you go, no matter what we're asking, that's how they're doing it.
Yeah, that's true. But at the press conference we did today, I thought a lot of interesting things came out there. For instance, what you said about how the Snookies and the Lindsay Lohans, and how they have basically hijacked pop culture. And these girls are really the opposite of that, with good role modeling and everything else.
Yeah, one of the questions that I got that I was frustrated by is that the interviewer, or the questioner asked me as though I was indicting all popular culture. And for me, it's the entertainment magazines, those outlets, by choosing to focus on these troubled young women, you know, you start to think, wait, there are some really upstanding gals in our society.
But it doesn't make good copy, Mark.
No, and it doesn't feel sexy or sizzly enough, you know. But I mean, we're just whipping through these kids, and they're not going to have. There's a short shelf life. You know, whereas these girls are going to probably go on to do other things.
And you had the best soundbite where you said, let's see if the Jersey Shore is around in 90 years, like Miss America.
And I think that's what is important about the anniversary of the pageant and us being a part of it, is it's coming back to ABC, and it's time for people to take a look at this pageant again and what it means. And given, you know, recent events in Arizona and stuff, it's kind of a reminder of there's some really good traditional values being represented by our young people. It's time to, like, let's give them some attention and let's remember that they're out there.
And, you know, these girls, they're so real. They're so much more real than I expected them to be. And I think if we pick a Miss America who can really be the voice of her generation because she's been through something and has gone through the stuff that she has, I think that's going to be a real step forward.
Now, I know that, Mark, but they were calling you an idiot savant.
Oh,
and Miss America.
I would like to think they just called me a savant.
He's unbelievable.
I know. So I have to ask you, who was Miss America in 1971?
That was Phyllis George. She played the piano.
No.
Well, you see, even if I asked you some questions, I wouldn't know if it was true.
You wouldn't know, Well, no,
you might, but I don't.
I have friends out there who would call in and they would correct me. The weird thing is, complimenting my memory while I'm sitting next to Marilu, that's a little odd because I can't really do what she does.
You're the pageant.
You know, getting back for a minute to the diversity, the hard times they had. You know, my favorite Miss America. I don't know, who was yours? I'll tell you mine.
Well, because I work with her on a daily basis, I have to say Vanessa Williams.
Vanessa Williams. Oh, she's got it all.
And she went. She had an unusual experience, and the fact that she has overcome that and established herself as such a major force in the entertainment industry, and the fact that I work with her every day, and she's a sweetheart that I just adore.
She's a darling person.
And a mom, and you know, she's amazing. So talented.
But I got to say, of some of the women that I've met here this week, just being on the panel with Debbie Turner, one of the most intelligent, well-spoken women I have ever met in my life.
Really?
I mean, I'm walking away just, you know, she just shot up to the top of my list.
Her voice is incredible. Well, you know, let's see, a specific one. Definitely Vanessa Williams. And I remember when the whole thing went down and everything else, and I kept thinking, and I watched her win and all that. And, you know, and then everything that she's done Broadway and the music and everything else. So I would agree with you, and, you know.
Well, my favorite, because I said this before, you've heard this, Marilu Henner Marc. Because I was a kid, I don't remember, I don't know what year was she?
What is she?
58, I believe.
Okay, so she had a tremendous talent. She was beautiful and lovely. And then years later, it came out that she had been sexually abused by her father, who was an upstanding judge or a lawyer or something in the community.
I didn't know that.
And she shared that with America. And she had been and I was thinking...
did she share it with the judges?
She did not share it at the time. You know, and now these girls are sharing all adversity. Whose mother hit her and beat her up. Another girl was
not in like a way
into unconsciousness by a bully. Remember that?
Yeah.
We're allowed to say this, right? As long as we don't say who they are.
Yeah, we're not going to say who. No,
and the stories might not come out.
And the truth of the matter is that I think with some of these girls, one of the things I do is I look and I go, are you sharing this in a truly, this has happened to me and I processed it sort of way? You also want to make sure the girls aren't going, look at what I've gone through. Look at what I've gone through. You've got to pick me because my story is so sad. And that it gets a little tricky in that regard and stuff. So we have to be on the lookout for that.
Didn't you feel that some of these girls told their stories just after a time? It was certainly not the first thing out of their mouths, and it wasn't even in necessarily their sheets.
Yeah, no, we brought it out of them.
Well, because we're attracted to the pathology just like these magazines are. You see, there's the answer.
Yeah.
Because when you read good stuff, it's like comedy. Positive is not funny, and positive may not be good copy. That doesn't mean, though, that Snooki and the rest of these girls are going to be role models. They're really not.
And that's the trick, which is what we want is, and perhaps the pageant got a rap because people felt that they were presenting Betty Crocker, Barbie doll, homemaker robots, and in a time where Marilu Henner Marc couldn't talk about what had happened to her. Now these girls, they have platforms where they talk about the charities that they want to support, and many of them come from their own life experience. So the fact that they're so honest makes them more relatable and more relevant to today's young women.
And weren't you fascinated by the fact, I got to get rapid. Good, you give me the last word.
I was just going to say, it was interesting that so many girls had either a first or second platform of bullying, which is so in the news right now.
Yes.
And I don't think it all just came from the news. It so much came from personal experiences, either in their, of course, through them or their families or something. So they were completely relatable in that big way as well.
Right. Thank you guys so much.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah. Too fast.
I know. That's television.
We didn't even get to swimsuit and talent.
I know. That's another topic. Oh my God.
And
I haven't been in a bathing suit since the Taft administration. Thank you. Okay.
They should have bathing suit pantyhose.
Yeah. And shoulder pads with pantyhose to hold it. I know. Okay, we'll be right back with some pop culture dish. Stay there.
See this?